Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter of accountancy, class 11th, and the chapter name is Basic Accounting Terms. This is part 1 of that chapter. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the basic terms of accounting. With the help of these basic terms, we can understand what is the accounting. So, here some basic accounting terms are given that first one is business transaction. What is the meaning of business transaction? Business transaction is an economic activity of the business that changes its financial position. It means that if Ram paid 10,000 rupees to any person, that amount reduced the cash value of Ram. Second incident, if Ram received 10,000 rupees from any person, that means Ram's position increase. So if the cash value increase or decrease, that is called transaction. So in simple terms, business transaction is an economic activity of the business that changes its financial position. Event. And event is the result of transaction. So what is the basic difference between business transaction and event? Let's take an example. Suppose I am a businessman and I have 1 lakh rupees. If I paid 10,000 rupees to Ram, it means that I have only 90,000 rupees. And that means that my cash value decrease. So if cash value increase or decrease, that is called transaction because it changes my position. But from how much? My value decrease from 10,000, that is called event. So that is the ultimate result. The ultimate result of the transaction is called event. Here one more example is given that Sachin started a business with capital of rupees 5 lakh. He purchased goods for rupees 4 lakh for cash. He sells the goods at 3 lakh 80,000. But in this question he sell only 3/4 of the goods. And we have to check the event. So first of all, we will have to calculate the profit. Sales is given, that is 3 lakh 80,000. Cost of purchased, we have to calculate 3/4 of the 4 lakh, that is 3 lakh 20,000. So the cost price is 3 lakh 20,000. The selling price is 3 lakh 80,000. It means that owner earned profit of rupees 60,000. That is called event because that is the ultimate result. The third point is account. When similar transactions are recorded, added and subtracted at a one place, that is called account. Ram's related information are recorded in Ram's account. Syam's related transaction are recorded in Syam's account. Rent related information are recorded in rent account. So that is account. The fourth one is capital. It means that when owner invests money in the business, that is called capital. So in simple terms, it refers to the amount invested by the proprietor or owner in a business, that is called capital. One mathematical formula of calculation of capital is given that capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. For example, here, suppose the following balances appeared in the books of the firm. Cash value, that is 20,000. Machinery, that is 50,000. Stock, that is 1 lakh. Debtors, that is 40,000. All four are considered as assets. Creditors, that is 30,000, and creditor is one type of liability. We will have to calculate the value of capital. So first of all, we will have to calculate the value of assets. So what is the overall formula of assets? Asset is equal to sum of all the assets. So what is the asset? Cash, machinery, stock and debtors. And what is the liability? That is creditor. So assets minus liability is equal to capital. So after totaling all the asset and deducting liabilities from these assets, we get 1,80,000. That 1,80,000 is capital. The another name of capital is owner's equity or net worth or net assets. The fifth term is drawing. If any person or owner withdraw money or goods from the business for his personal use, that is called drawing. For example, if I am a businessman, I invest some money in a business and I withdraw 10,000 rupees for paying the fee of my son. My son is my personal property, not the business property. So that amount is treated as drawing. So if cash or goods withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use is treated as drawing. The next term is liability. Liability refers to the amount which the firm had to pay to the outsider. It means that same situation, if I am the owner of the business and I have to pay some amount to the outsider, to the person who exists outside the business, is treated as liability. And here some classification of liabilities. The first one is internal liability and the second one is external liability. Internal liability means the liability that has to paid to the owner is called internal liability. For example, if I am an owner and I invested some money in my business, then my expectation is that I get my money back. So that is the liability of the business to pay the amount to me. That is internal liability. But external liability means when the business paid the amount to the outsider or the person who exists outside the business is treated as external liability. One further classification is also given, long-term or non-current liability. It means that when the time period of liability is more than 1 year is treated as long-term liability. For example, if I purchase some goods from Ram in credit basis and I paid the amount after 1 year, that is treated as non-current liability. The second one is current liability. If the time period of a liability is less than 1 year, is called current liability. For example, bank overdraft, bills payable, creditors, outstanding expense and short-term loans. All are the example of current liabilities. The next term is assets. Assets means the property of a business enterprise is called assets. In other words, anything that can be converted in cash and get the benefit in future is treated as assets. For example, if I have some money and I spend the money on purchasing the land, gold, building, assets, all are treated as assets. Here, some example of assets are given, that cash and bank balance, stock, furniture, machinery, land and building, bills payable, money owing by debtors, etc. all are treated as assets. Non-current asset. Non-current assets refers to those assets which are continued use in the business. It means that if anything purchased for a long term period, that is treated as non-current asset. For example, machinery, computer, motor vehicle, furniture. All these things, if we have purchased Then we will purchase for long term purpose, not short term purpose. If we purchase computer, that means that computer can be used for 5 year or 10 year. It means that is more than 1 year. So that is non current asset. If we purchase something for 1 year, that is treated current assets. Now, further classification of assets are also tangible assets. Tangible assets are those assets which can be seen or touched. It means that if any asset we can see or touch, that asset are classified in the category of tangible assets. For example, land and building, plant and machinery, computer, motor vehicle, furniture. All assets we can see and touch. So that is tangible assets. Intangible assets. Intangible assets are those assets which do not have physical existence. It means that we cannot touch, we cannot see. We only feel that. That is assets. So that asset is classified in the category of intangible assets. For example, patents, copyrights, goodwill, trademark, computer software. All are the example of intangible assets. The second one is current assets. Current assets are those assets which are used for short term period. It means that less than 1 year. Here some example of current assets are given, that debtors, stock, bills receivable, etc. Fictitious or nominal assets. These are the assets which cannot be released in cash, and no further benefit can be derived from these assets. So that is treated as fictitious asset. It means that these type of asset which cannot be released in cash, which cannot be converted in cash, and there is no further benefit. So that is fictitious asset. Now the next term is capital receipt and revenue receipt. It is very important topic. Capital receipt and revenue receipt both are different concept. If we received cash for long term purpose, that is capital receipt. And second one is revenue receipt. If we receive cash on regular basis, that is revenue receipt. For example, if we sell over land and we get 10 crore rupees, so that is capital receipt, because we cannot daily sell over land. So that is capital receipt. But if we receive salary, we receive rent from our house, that is revenue receipt, because that is regular basis. We received monthly. So that is the basic difference between capital receipt and revenue receipt. Capital receipt, that is irregular in nature sometimes, and revenue receipt, that is regular in nature. We regularly get the money. Here some examples of capital receipt and revenue receipts are given. That examples of capital receipt: amount received from sale of fixed assets or investment, capital contributed by the proprietor, partner, that is also comes under the heading of capital receipt. Amount received by way of loans. Here some examples of revenue receipt: money obtained from sale of goods, commission and fee received, interest and dividend received, rent received, salary received. All are the example of revenue receipt. Now the next term is expenditure. Any disbursement of cash or transfer of property or incurring a liability for the purpose of acquiring assets or goods is called expenditure. In simple terms, if we paid some money for purchasing of assets or for the expense purpose, that is called expenditure. The expenditure mainly classified into three categories. First one is capital expenditure, second one revenue expenditure, and third one deferred revenue expenditure. One by one we are going to discuss all type of expenditure. First one is capital expenditure. Capital means not regular in nature. It means if we spend money sometimes, that is called capital expenditure. For example, if we purchase assets, we cannot purchase assets on regular basis. We cannot purchase land and building, machinery on regular basis. So that is capital expenditure. Here some capital expenditure is given, that building, purchase of plant, purchase of furniture, all comes under the heading capital expenditure because we cannot purchase on regular basis. Revenue expenditure. Any expenditure, the full benefit of which received during 1 year is called revenue expenditure. For example, salary paid, rent paid, electricity charges, all are the regular basis charges. So that comes under the heading of revenue expenditure. So what is the basic difference between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure? We can easily categorize the difference between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Difference between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. The first point is capital expenditure is incurred for the acquisition or erection of fixed assets, whereas revenue expenditure is incurred for day-to-day running of the business. In simple terms, capital expenditure are the expenditure which is expend for the purchasing or for the erection of fixed assets, because that is not regular basis, whereas revenue expenditure are incurred for day-to-day operation. The second basic difference of capital expenditure and revenue expenditure is capital expenditure is incurred for the purpose of increasing the earning capacity, and revenue expenditure is incurred for maintenance of the earning capacity. For example, if we purchase land and building, so that is capital expenditure because it increases the capacity. Another example, if we purchase machinery, so that is capital expenditure because the basic purpose is increasing the earning capacity. Because if we are producing the goods with the help of workers, so that is slow purpose, that is slow process. But if we produced goods with the help of machinery, so that is fast process. So that increases our earning capacity. And revenue expenditure is the maintenance of machinery. So if we purchase machinery, that is capital expenditure, and if we spend money on the maintenance of machinery, for example on repair, that is called revenue expenditure. And the best example is land and building. If we purchase land and building, that is capital expenditure. But if we renovate or we do whitewashing on the building, that is revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure yield benefit normally over a long period, and whereas revenue expenditures benefit we can get in short period. And in accounting terms, long period means more than 1 year and short period means less than 1 year. Capital expenditure is written in the balance sheet, whereas revenue expenditure is written in trading and P&L account. The last term is deferred revenue expenditure. Deferred revenue expenditure is basically different from capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. For understanding deferred revenue expenditure, one example is given that suppose if we spend 2 lakh rupees on the advertisement and that advertisement comes on the television for 4 years, it means that we get the advantage of 4 years. So we paid 2 lakh rupees not for 1 year. We paid that 2 lakh for 4 years. So that means 1 year expenditure is only 50,000. And remaining 1,50,000 is the expenditure of future, not the present expenditure. So that 50,000 is considered as deferred revenue expenditure, and the remaining one is fictitious assets. So in this concept, mainly two concepts are given: deferred revenue expenditure and fictitious assets. If we spend 2 lakh rupees for 4 years, that means the expense of current year is only 50,000. So the current year expense is treated as deferred revenue expenditure, and the next 3 years expenditure comes under the heading fictitious assets. So that is very important concept, and the remaining concept we will discuss in next video.